Hey guys, so it's middle of November 2017. Here in Norway it's about 4 or 5 minus degrees Celsius, and I'm gonna show you my new project. I sold the CB 500F 7 weeks ago, and I bought something new. Yes, it's a Suzuki gas tank. And this is the new project. Oh, I actually turned the heat down a couple of like 10 minutes ago. It's a little bit too warm. Luxury problem, huh? Yeah, it's a Suzuki GS 1000G. I know there's different models. I know there's a ES, there's a GL, there's a G, and so on. I don't know the specific difference on the models. It's probably something to do with the fenders, with the styling, different exhausts, stuff like that. But otherwise, the bikes are pretty similar to each other. I built this garage. As I said, I sold the CB 500 7 weeks ago, and 6 weeks ago I bought that one. And I thought, I want something to do this winter. Yes, I got something to do, alright. When I bought the bike from the advertiser, the seller told me there was 2 issues. The bike didn't run, or it didn't start. Did start, but it was just coughing and not running with some gas starter fluid. It was starting up, you can hear it turn over, but it didn't run, it didn't idle. The second issue was it wasn't charging. I got it cheap. I got it for about $1,500. Here in Norway, that's cheap, I tell you. Looking closer to the bike, it was not looking like this in the pictures. It was looking a lot better. I started dismounting the bike when I got it. There was so much rust, like getting the extra bags and everything else off was a pain in the butt. Even the smallest screws they were really stuck. It took me about 2 days to get it stripped down to where I wanted to. After that, I decided, before starting with the project, to see if I could get it to run and idle and charge. I'm in the 3rd stage of that plan right now. I've got it to run, I got it to idle, it's not charging. As a lot of people know, doing this project, there's always a plan. You order parts, you wait a long time, you try the parts. Sometimes you have to reorder or just start all over. Right now I'm just waiting for parts I ordered. The charging part issue was about, I found out it was nothing to do with the stator or dynamo. It had something to do with the regulator rectifier, a little bit of issue with the battery. So I bought a new battery, a new rectifier, cheap one, China made on eBay, and I tried it out. It's still charging less than I want. It's about 13.2, and I want at least 1 more volt giving some revs. I found out that this rectifier, cheap China thing, was not what I wanted. I also find out that I only got, as it's supposed to be, 2 wires going from the dynamo to the battery. Usually you want 3 of them, but then you also need a better rectifier regulator. I ordered one MOSFET FH022, the new model, that could handle all the volts that you are getting from the dynamo. So original on this bike I only had 2, and the third one was going up to the controller. I found out that the controller, one of the switches, here in Europe we have an extra switch called light switch. It's not high or low beam, it's on and off. That circuit was broken, the switch was broken up, the plastic was off. So there was something wrong with I can't explain it in a short way, but I found out that this circuit needs to be clean, or it needs to be running well. It's controlling the regulation of the overall system. So I can't explain it, but it needs to work. I found out that I can short out that loop up there, and I can just use all 3 wires directly to the rectifier and to the battery. Get the right voltage and forget about that one up there. Those 2 get their own electricity from their own wire. So that feels good. That's what I'm working with right now. I refurbished the carburetors. As you can see, I put on pod filters. I rejetted both main and pilot and put the needle up 1 notch. When I cleaned them, of course, I cleaned them up. When I first started the bike, it started up so well, so easily. It revved so nice, no backfires. It idled a little bit high. I adjusted that and was purring like a kitten. I was happy with that. I had no leaks, nothing, just a small oil leak. About that later. I decided to, okay, it runs fine, it idles. I'm happy with the carburetors. On to the next thing, charging. I worked with the charging for a couple of days, ordered parts, and I tried this one out a couple of days ago. Man, I was really disappointed. Tried to start the bike, only been sitting for a couple of days, like 5-6 days. The voltage was good. I checked the battery, everything was good. And it was so hard to start, really hard to start. Check the ignition, yeah, as I said, the voltage. There was petrol in all 4 carburetors. Everything was good. It's just you have to give it a lot of revs, and then it coughs, and then it comes. When it's finally running, it's running really nice again. But it's so hard to start. I mean, the first time it was just 1 second on the start button, it started right up. I have no idea. So there's something wrong in here. I don't want to think about it right now. I want to fix the charging, and we see about that later. It's gonna be a Scrambler. I haven't said that, sorry. It's not a cafe racer. I need studless tires. No, sorry, sorry. I'm gonna put on nub tires. I mean, you know, cross tires, motocross tires, and it's gonna have. People are gonna hate me for this. I'm gonna chop the silencers, the muffler off here, and buy a factory-made shorter silencer without the muffler. We'll see how that works. Gonna repaint the engine. I'm gonna keep the brakes, even though they are ugly. I'm gonna refurbish them, give them some good paint, and yeah, they're gonna give me have a happy new life with this bike. I put on some new coils, and they are just amazing. I'm pretty sure those with the new leads, spark plugs, made the startup so easy. Not on the cheap side. They were very expensive, but the old ones look like crap. So pretty sure that's nice. I started to mount some things on the handlebar. It's just for the looks. I wanted to try how it looks. Probably gonna go for a much more flat bar. We'll see. It's a little bit how the ride feels when you sit on it. When I get the right saddle and the tank mounted. In the front, I'm not gonna put a GXR front as many of you guys do. I'm gonna keep the stock front end. Mainly because it's so expensive. Here, if you want to buy a whole front end from GXR here in Scandinavia, it's gonna cost insane amount of money. It's just like that here. I would like to have it. I can't afford it. It's too and even on eBay with the customs and yeah, before I get it, it will cost the same as buying it home. I'm gonna mount a very nice big headlamp. I bought a digital speedo Gonna look very nice. Cut out the old analog stuff. Plug the holes there. Actually, folks, I'm gonna repaint the frame, of course. Just take the engine out, paint the frame. Not sure if I can afford a powder coating. I know it's the best for the frame, looking like this. But I have painted a lot of, well, not just motorcycle parts, but I know I can do a good job. Not as good as powder coating, but I know I can do a decent job at another place. Mainly because powder coating are professional jobs of painting here. They are insanely expensive. I've checked it out. Powder coat this frame will cost me at least $500, maybe $1,000. We'll see about that. That's a later project. Today I'm gonna start with the gas tank. I'm gonna use paint remover that I bought. 3-4 couple of coats on this one. It's not dented. It's actually pretty nice. I'm just gonna remove all the paint and I'm gonna put the primer on just to and see if I can see something, if there is something I need to do with the tank. Not sure if I'm gonna paint the tank myself. At least I'm gonna prepare it so it's nice for a professional. We'll see about that. I painted some fuel tanks in my life, and I can only agree. It's if you don't do a good primer job or a decent job from the start, it's gonna be hell. If you use a couple of weeks or you put a lot of work on the prep work, it's not that bad. It's never gonna be a professional, but it's not bad. It's all about preparation and have a warm garage and a lot of time. Have patience. Don't rush it. It can be good if you tried it. And don't buy the cheapest paint in the shop. Go for a 2-component color that you mix in the spray can. We'll see. I have a very limited budget on this bike. I have maxed the price for $3,500. I'm already at $2,000 with all the parts I bought and stuff like that. I ordered new controls because these old ones you saw I already mounted on the left side. This will work. This is actually a eBay with a connector that actually fits to the one I have on the bike. The other one was not that good. I checked it out, and this is the one on the right side. Here you can see the switch that's broke off. The China or the eBay controller had an issue about, first of all, well, the connector was good, but there was a lot of wiring that didn't exist, or exist that I didn't understand. I know a little bit about electricity or wiring, but that was just a pain in the ass. I tried to find out how to reroute the wiring, but I thought, no, I'm gonna buy a original one, and I found one in Denmark on eBay. They were really hard to find because on eBay ones, this switch is missing. And to make it easy for me, I would like a similar one. I found one in Denmark, cost me about $100 compared to the one on the eBay for the US models for about, I don't know, $50. I hope that will work. So as I said, I'm just waiting for those parts, and gonna start with the gas tank. That was just a short update. I give you a short video when I've done something more and new, exciting. See you guys.